Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, the home of Grenade Veteran. I got some plasma gun gameplay here. It's to supplement the Grenade Veteran Unleashed build and video in terms of the actual talent points used. Pretty much copy everything as opposed to going into the crit chance, for example, or competitive urge and redirect fire. I opted to use those 2 points to go into one motion and out for blood, just to ramp that toughness or replenishment, as well as the weapon swap speed between the plasma and power sword. Plasma has a long draw time, just to help that when I need it, it's out quicker, can go to DPSing. Got a familiar face here, Cheese to meet you, as well as Calibri. They're two players, or people that I play with all the time. On O's, awesome lads. I'm assuming they're lads, but I'm pretty sure they are. So we got a Plague Ogre in here. Lots happening. Chuck grenades, control the horde. In terms of the blessings used, the plasma gun has double strength blessings, blaze away, and rising heat. Sorry, that took me a little bit to remember. And the power sword has slaughterer and power cycler. Power cycler doesn't go anywhere in the power sword. Purpose of the build is just to play as much into the strength as possible. I was testing to see if I reached good enough TTKs or time to kills and break points without needing things like redirect fire and competitive urge. See if I can play more into survivability. For the most part, I actually really like it. Doing more than enough damage. Could absolutely do more. Moments like that though, the pus hardened Tox bombers. I missed that one shot because of not having redirect fire, but it's alright, it's no big deal. I actually quite like this map. I feel like I get Archive and Sycorax in this map quite a bit, and Dark Communion. Be nice to get like a Havoc or something. Enclavum Baros, Magistrati Oubliette, something like that would be nice. It's pretty much prime time for grenades, power sword. Like, the more you can chuck into one area, obviously the better an AoE build's going to do. We're controlling the spawns as they're dropping down. Always try to do that and control it. While this is happening too, I did want to mention an update. I do have a Discord on the way, just taking me some time. I've got some IRL commitments. Today unfortunately my cat started limping, so I'm just monitoring it, so I think it's just a strain or a sprain and it's nothing too serious, but I want to make sure, so that's where my priorities are. Other builds, I've also got 2 tier lists coming out based on and for Grenade Veteran, how those weapons interact. It's not going to be taken at face value or in a vacuum, but rather how the weapon interacts and plays with Grenade Veteran. After that, or even before that, I'm also going to relieve a Darktide interaction / mechanics video, because something I've noticed in previous videos, or build videos specifically, is that I've been kind of repeating the same point, because obviously there's like a base foundation to the success of the build, and for anyone new, I don't want to not talk about it, but I also understand that everyone who has been here before, I'm just repeating the same shit. So in the interest of fixing that, the newer build videos will be clearer, concise, and only talk about what I want to show. And then the tier list and the mechanic interaction video will be more like an online video resource for you guys. So whenever I release a build video, or even my current ones, if you want to change some talent nodes, or if you want to change some blessings, you want to change the weapon, you can go back and refer to that and basically tweak it to your liking. You'll have my opinion on the weapons. Not saying it's going to be 100% correct, but based on my experience and testing, from purely a Grenade Veteran's perspective, at least you'll have it on hand. Another thing I want to mention, I don't know how often Landmark plays Havoc 40. What I think is maybe he's like a Cypher, or like he plays another class and he's playing Veteran, because we're about like 10 to 15, 20% into the mission, if that, and he's already consumed like 80 to 90% of his ammo. Previous, like a minute or two ago, you would see that he was even less ammo. So it's important to look at stuff like that. because before I did tab to see when he asks for ammo how much ammo he's taken. If he hasn't got any ammo and he's asking for ammo, that's fair enough, but if you go back and watch, I had taken 1 small ammo, cheesed 1 big ammo, and him 1 big ammo. And just being that early into the mission and using that much ammo it's not sustainable. So, you know, obviously tell him, hey, there's not enough ammo. That's not even because I just want to use it and take it all, no, it's just because there's just not enough ammo. With that out of the way, here, it's completely my fault. So again, I play with Calibri and cheesed a lot. A lot of people stay on the other half of the map, and I'm quickly going to stop the gameplay just to show you something. So on this map, a lot of people, there's 2 sections people want to stay at. The first one is on the complete opposite side, and it looks like this. You've got an entrance here, entrance here, entrance here, and then you've got the spawn door right behind you. And I find this to be a very common area where we're just fighting in the middle. I personally don't like it because you're exposed to 4 angles. Yes, you've got like the corners to help block off some line of sight, but then poxbursters can spawn here, and if you can't get to it, there's too much like Mobians or whatever in front of you. It's a very dangerous position to be in. So what I found I know I go down, but I'm just explaining it now so you can look after. What I found is when you come into this room from the drop down, go directly diagonally across. It's on the way to the button and the far right corner. The layout will be something like this. There will be a spawn door all the way over here. You have the ledge where shooters will spawn up here. There's like a piece of terrain here and some like there. You stay in this area. You've got the elevator in the middle. And what you can do from this position, these shooters, when you block their line of sight here, they'll drop down with the plasma gun or some AoE. You can funnel them here. If they come from the entrance all the way in the bottom right corner, you've got a clear line to, again, throw grenades or shoot a plasma gun. And the point I'm trying to make here is that you're only exposing yourself ultimately to 2 angles as opposed to 4. What happens here is, I've played this map a lot with Calibri and Cheese. I just assumed they would follow me. That's what usually happens. It is absolutely in no way, shape or form that my team's fault that I go down. I should have turned around before I committed to running that full way just to see what the situation is and what the team wants to do, because ultimately a bad plan that everyone commits to is better than a good plan that everyone's not committed to. Everyone's got a different opinion. So I just want to explain why I prefer this part of the map. I think it's a lot easier, better setup, but yeah, I mean, obviously on the way here, it's my fault. With that out of the way, let's go back to the gameplay. So this is what I'm talking about. It's fantastic for grenades. I get up, immediately get trapped. I shit myself from the fucking poxburster, what can I say? So see this column to the right here? You can move to the right hand side of that and basically like completely line up shooters that spawn there. It's really great. It's because we didn't run here straight away. We don't get the proper setup. If I get another game, or there's probably gameplay already on my channel of this area and you'll see it. See this like little thing that you can use in front of you to block dogs, that little crate there. This is just a really fantastic area, a lot of good line of sight. You're only really exposing yourself to the lane that I'm looking down now and to your left, and you can use a lot of this terrain to block line of sight. You can set up the grenades, elevator comes. I get a stim from Calibri. My butt cheeks were clenched that whole time from when I got netted, but we're chilling now. When you come to this area again, you saw I went down, how bad it was, but we fought through it just because I genuinely think that area is a lot stronger than where people usually fight in that little box area. I think it's a little more dangerous. Give it a try, let me know what you think. I know that's probably not the best representation because, you know, I die on the way there, but again, that's just my fault not turning around and looking. Here I change it up. I went to third person perspective mod. I like it. I mean, sometimes I just want to whip it out, something different. It's definitely worse for aiming because you can't really properly tell how close you are to the enemy for like lining up proper headshots and weak spots. it makes shooting harder, not on the plasma gun because you hip fire it, but if you want an ADS, you kind of clip. But just for looking cool and something different, I like it. If you want to like play properly and, you know, like get as much damage as possible, test yourself, play for improvement, definitely wouldn't recommend third person view. Where there is a advantage though is I can obviously see more. The FOV is kind of huge, I can even kind of see behind me. That's quite literally the only advantage in my opinion. Other than that, I think for me personally it's just pure disadvantages. But I mean, being able to see that much is a pretty amazing advantage. Ultimately it just comes down to, it looks cool, I like visual, I like third person POV. So over here, Landmark goes down, fantastic chorus by Cheese. We get the resurrection up. I wasn't even sure if he'd be able to move out of that, but he does. We get a tiny little bit of a reset. We can group up, fantastic. Landmark throws grenades. I should probably be using my plasma gun here, but I was already in melee, so I just decided to default to the power sword. I run up, I see shooters lining me up, and I shit myself, run away, reset, try to get a better engagement, clean that area up. You'll quite often get a horde spawn here. I'm pretty sure this is a progression based horde in this hub. A hub basically means a room, so this room or collection of rooms. So in this area you drop down and that's the start of the hub. You've got the elevator, that's the end of this hub and this whole section. Even though you could maybe classify it as maybe two rooms with an intersecting section, this is one hub though. So when you enter this hub, there will be either a horde or a boss spawn, or both in high Havoc, and then obviously low chances in normal gameplay. The drop down here is usually very dangerous, but we can't go through the middle because there's a demon host. So I was saving grenades, trying to make sure I could try to keep at least one, ideally two for this drop. Set up the drop with 2 grenades, just burst everything down, get straight on top of the gunners to shut them down. You don't want to get caught onto the melee trash. And I mean, the captain's pretty simple, especially the crusher captain. As long as it's not going to overhead you, there's really nothing to worry about. Control the horde as best as you can, keep the focus target stacks on things that are important. So for example, see how I ping the mutant here, that's more important than the captain. There's a chance that while he's being held by the mutant, the captain is coming behind me and just overheads him or both of us. Not worth it. So specials, flamers, try to get the ping on them. I tried pinging through the shield, but it's not working, so you see me just start shooting. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There's different levels to enemies. Despite him being a boss, he's not the biggest threat in the room. It will still be the disablers, the specials, gunners, reapers as the elite, etc. Get a nice block there. Rather than face tanking enemies, always go for the block first, especially if you get a perfect time block. There's a lot of stagger that you can apply. Section's pretty chill, just blast through it. Now there's always going to be a massive spawn. Again, talking from a Havoc perspective, but even in normal games, that corridor is prime time for a lot of elites. There's usually a boss spawn here, so typically you don't want to pull the elites, but because it's Grenade Veteran, I want to roll on my demo team. I pull that entire spawn with the boss, so I can share the AoE between the two, put damage onto the boss with the bleed, and still generate those demo team rolls. I don't even know if I got any, I don't think I did, but that's what the ideal play is anyway, trying to set up those demo team rolls by stacking as many elites and specials as you can. Watch out for the tail, that shit hurts. I'm going to be pretty close and to finishing my infantry lasgun build too, so I'm keen for that. It will be pretty similar to the recon lasgun, so I can kind of attach it to that. Here, if I didn't have that little bit of yellow toughness, that's just a death there. I didn't know stuff was coming behind us. I'm running low on ammo. I see that everyone more or less has good ammo, so I take 3 stacks here for the grenade and top up my plasma gun. And then I ping it for landmark to take the last one. that should spread out the resources well enough where everyone gets what they need for the situation. Everyone's on white ammo. I get the grenades, I've got the best grenades, so I think that's a good time to ammo crate, especially because we're coming up to the last section. If we need to backtrack, at least we can use any resources at the Medicaid there. This is another good example of we get the captain, but there's going to be a couple of specials that get spawned. Put your focus to them. Have the situational awareness to try and listen, or turn your camera to just make sure you're not about to get hit by that overhead. But again, the priority is those specials. Get it off cheese. You don't want your teammate to get whacked while they're held by it. You see me completely turn to control these specials here. I get like nudged or whacked by the captain, so I adjust my positioning. Nice and simple. The power sword's pretty decent at a shield. It's not like chain sword or shockmaw or chain axe. Those weapons do incredibly well to shields, but it does pretty well. And then when the shield's off, I mean the power sword, poke attack, that combo just does crazy single target. One cool thing I want to show you here, just in case you don't know, this is much easier with the bolt pistol, but as long as you have grenade tinkerer, you can do it. If you position just a little bit to the left of the eyeball there, you're able to hit both tentacles. You can kill the tentacles with grenades. The AoE damage does like basically one-shot those tentacles. So what I do for this one specifically is I run to the far tentacle, set up the grenade to the left of the spawning eye. The grenade will hit 2 tentacles, I kill the 3rd time it all together. On these type of objectives, Grenade Veteran is really, really powerful, because even on this one, I can throw a grenade just in front of where the eye is, then walk to this tentacle that I am now, and again, do all 3 by myself in one go. I didn't want to use the grenades here, we're in a good position. So just so you know, every single like objective here can be done solo instantly in Havoc 40 by a Grenade Veteran. So if you're playing Grenade Veteran on this map or any map with tentacle objectives, just know it's basically your job to speed up that process. This objective here, I think I misplaced the grenade, but maybe you need bolt pistol to hit the 2 side ones. You want to again run to the far one behind the box. I think that grenade had to be slightly to the left and towards the tentacle on that one that I just looked at. But you get my point. You can use grenades to kill these tentacles, camp the 3rd one that the grenade won't hit. It makes maps like this a lot, or much easier. Thank you, Morrow. We get through. As you're moving through, especially in the last section, there's going to be a lot of gunners that have been spawning and then get spawned during this part of the mission, this specific objective, so try to control them as you're moving through. We move down as we get a spawn. Even though I want to play around 2 grenade combos, this is just not a good situation. We're extremely exposed, a lot of gunners. Landmark goes down. Now, my personal play here, I think it's better to just go for the res and stay in this terrain. Fuck the shooters. That's what I was calling for. Calibri already turned back. I can't get there in time. I have no grenades. What can I do? I can either keep trying to like whack stuff in front of me with a sword, or I can start shooting this plasma gun on top of Calibri, trying to give space and time for her to get the res there. We regroup, so once they get the res, as opposed to sitting there, move back with your team, regroup. Calibri sees that we're pushing towards it to try and get the regroup. We get the regroup, I get the 4-man shout. We start pushing now, and we reset back into where we want to be. I noticed that my team hasn't fully caught up yet, so I'm just holding this position. Now I see that my team is with me. I'm going to start W keying with the power sword a lot more. I see those snipers turning this. A little bit of a butt clench, I won't lie. We didn't kill the first sniper, but we at least knocked it down. Landmark goes down again, unfortunately. But I mean, we're not gonna leave your boy, obviously. So we do this objective. We've got two options here. We turn right now, and that's basically where we want to camp. Or we go to the res spawn. We're obviously going to the res spawn. I always like to leave as for one, I feel like it pushes myself. Two, it makes it more enjoyable for everyone, so why the fuck not, you know what I mean? Now here we should backtrack and go through the lower section to the bottom chamber that I prefer to fight, but again, we're a little bit, it's very hectic, there's a lot going on. I should have probably spam pinged as opposed to maybe just the one. I noticed that people aren't coming, so I decided to backtrack and go back towards my team. And then the decision's made, okay, well, after this res, we're pushing this way now. The reason I don't like this area is you're just too exposed to shooters. At this point, I'm like, we're taking way too long to like make any movement here. This is where the power sword is absolutely fantastic with the plasma gun. I W key brute force to set up a really nice plasma gun, start blasting, suppressing, making space for my teammate, lead the way with grenade veteran. That's what it's there for, making space. It's AoE. You're like a tank bruiser, if I was to give you like MOBA terms, if that makes sense. You're very tanky enough to not go down there, butt clincher for real. I should have been listening to the sound cues. You can block while dodging, so I should have been fine not taking any damage, but that's just being lazy. It was a pretty good game though. I think it pretty much showcases, like we had an Inferno Staff Psycho here. You can see the comparison. I very much am of the opinion Grenade Veteran is on top currently as the game stands. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm going to be doing some revolver, infantry lasgun, double barrel builds after my tier list, mechanic and discord are done, and then I'll be going on to other weapons to showcase them. Hope you enjoyed. God bless. Catch you in the next video. 07.